Governor Polis announced a special session yesterday to address an over $1 billion revenue shortfall for Colorado. So let's go live to Scripps News Group national correspondent Joe St. George. And Joe, I know you used to cover Colorado politics extensively. So what exactly is to blame for this shortfall?
Yeah. Well, the governor is putting blame on changes made here in Washington that dictates and changes how much money Colorado gets back in its general fund. And there's a domino effect here. And essentially what Governor Polis has been saying, it's better to get ahead of this now than wait until when the regular session of lawmakers takes effect come early next year. It would result in perhaps more draconian measures at that point in time. So that's the presidential thinking here. It's really the spirit of special sessions across the country, right? The special session in Texas over redistricting has drawn national attention. There are debates over redistricting here. It'll be interesting to see if Governor Polis enters into that conversation at all in the near future. Although Colorado has very specific laws when it comes to redistricting. So this is an effort by state lawmakers to try and get ahead of this thing. But the reality is that not just the state. I mean, Denver has been going through significant layoffs at the city level because of revenue shortfalls. This is a storyline that has developed in Colorado over the course of the last several months that doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon.
And Joe, today is a big day as a range of countries are getting hit with President Trump's reciprocal tariffs. So what countries could impact our wallets the most in the next few months?
You know, we have covered a lot of tariff and trade stories, haven't we, in recent months? And I know that our viewers, it may be white noise to them. And oh, Joe's talking about tariffs again. Here's the reality. Today is one of the more transformational and consequential days of the entire Trump presidency when it comes to tariffs. You're talking about dozens of countries with tariffs now that didn't have tariffs when we all went to bed last night. What's a good tariff in this environment? Well, pretty much every country on planet Earth has at least a 10% tariff. The United Kingdom, Great Britain, has a 10% tariff this morning that they didn't have yesterday. That's considered good in this current trade environment with President Trump. Vietnam's getting hit with the 20% tariff. Japan, 15% tariff. Think of the goods that come from Vietnam and flows into stores into southern Colorado. One country that struck me this morning when I was doing my research, Switzerland. A 39% tariff now in effect on Switzerland. You think of Switzerland as being, they're famously non-controversial, right? But the president's upset with trade imbalances. So think of the impact on, I like Swiss chocolate, Swiss cheese. If you like good watches, if that's your thing, think of all those goods that flow from Switzerland into the U.S. that now is subject to this nearly 40% tariff. It's important to note that the president has talked about even more tariffs as well. Yesterday, he said he's thinking about a semiconductor tariff that could impact the cost of electronics going forward. India is set to get a 50% tariff in 3 weeks' time because they're buying so much Russian energy. And if you're wondering, can anything stop these tariffs? The answer is yes. The courts could. We're waiting for an opinion from an appellate court here in Washington whether or not President Trump has presidential authority on this or not. But again, we say stay tuned on this, but when it comes to prices, I think we've got to stay tuned. Remember, these tariffs are taking effect today. It may be a few months before the price changes show up at your favorite store.